On the second day of Christmas, a present you need to see is this Orthland lighting tent. I guess that's what you could call it, or a shooting box. I think they called it a foldable photo box. Okay, if you take foldable photos, this would be the box to do it in, I imagine. This is actually a nifty gadget. But before we delve into the details of this, a big thank you to the crew at Olomanu Gardens in Hawaii, who have very generously supported the show all year long, and also gave me a couple of other gift ideas that are brilliant. A set of insect tweezers from Kaisi. Fantastic. Now, I've made a whole video on these tweezers. It has been pushed back several times. I'm sorry about that, but it will be coming out soon. And we go into these in a great deal of detail, and I'll show you exactly which ones you need and what you do with them. But Glenn and the crew also gave me the best toolkit for the types of things that I do. It's an amazing toolkit of bits for screwdrivers and what have you. Just an absolute, this thing has come in handy, breaking so many things, I can hardly keep track of it. So thanks to Glenn and thanks to everybody at Olomanu Gardens in Waimanalo, Hawaii. Waimanalo, why not Manalo is what I would say. Okay, the light tent. You've seen one of these things before, I feel fairly sure. What they are boxes where you shine light on things so that you can take pictures of them. It's that simple. Now, this was actually the kind of thing that got the whole light tent going, the whole cage going. Because when I was a very young photographer, I wasn't very young, I was quite old, but when I first got into macro photography, I had one of these, I bought one. This is a different beast, partly because it's much better and partly because it's not the same thing. The thing I had walls that you could shoot through, and I kind of liked it. It was a kind of a diffusion box was how it worked. This is not quite the same. It does have some diffusion. It has a diffusion panel, which is just a sheet of plastic. Fair enough. I mean, durable, waterproof, and with little tabs that come off. And and underneath that are two of the coolest lights I've seen. These things are brilliant. I mean, literally, they're brilliant. There are two of them, and each one of them has, I think, 51 lights on it. So there's 102 lights altogether. And these things are insanely bright, and there's two of them. And they go underneath that diffusion panel. And when you plug them in and turn them on, you've got to be very careful because they get bright so quickly. I almost blinded myself. Don't put your eyes there like I did. Well, we'll do one. Is it coming on? That's probably just destroyed the sensor of my camera. Whew. They are bright. They are bright. And anyway, these bad boys can either go on the outside on this flappy thing, or they can go both of them inside. But I've experimented with it, and I liked it best with one on the outside pointing back in, and the other one on the inside pointing straight down, like this. Seemed to work the best. Now, I put a bunch of stuff inside this, and this is a bit of a tricky thing. All right, I'm getting ready to start swearing. Am I allowed to swear in this Christmas special? Seeing as swearing's a big part of Christmas where I come from. All right, this is a two-hand job. Not, okay, all right, okay. So that's it in, and you can see lots of bright white light. Very nice, very high quality. The CRI on these, well, actually, they don't give you the CRI, they give you the CA. Do you know what that is? Do you know what the CA is as opposed to the CR? That's interesting. I'll tell you. The CRI is the color rendition that they measure using 14 popular colors. And that's the full CRI or the extended CRI. The CA is shorthand for color average, and that only looks at 8 colors. So it's easier to get a high CA than it is to get a high CRI. But interestingly, in China, they don't use, this was made in China, by the way, they don't use CRI as the benchmark, they use CA. So this has a CA of 90, which is good. And it's putting out 5500K light, which is nice and bright and white. So this is available in 2 different sizes, in the 16 by 16 by 16, this one, but also the 22 by 22, which has a slightly higher CRI and is a slightly bigger box. This is a pretty small box, and I'll get to that from some of my test shots in just a minute. But as you can see, the light is plenty bright and it is plenty white. And it does give an almost completely shadow-free look. What I like about it also is it has a set of colored plastic backdrops, which are curved, like that's the diffusion material. I wonder what that might get used for in the future. So I put a book in here so that you can see how the light works. It works like light does, by making things brighter. Anyhow, I figure you probably already know that. Now, if you read the stuff on the internet about this, it'll tell you that there are 3 shooting positions. There's you can shoot from the front, you can shoot from a hole in the top. That's my hand down there. That's not a trick hand, that's my hand. You can shoot from the top, and the 3rd position you can shoot from is the same as the first one. It's the front. So I think there's only 2 positions you can shoot from, the front or the top, not 3. Anyway, I think it's a minor point. It's pretty obvious that the main place you'd shoot would be through the hole in the front, which you can see through. As I said, you can't see through the sides because they're solid. Now, the whole thing collapses, but I'm not going to do it because it took me a while to get it up. Now, that's not because... Let me reword that. I'm not going to break this down right now because I was getting a bit irritated putting it together because the clips only hold when they want to. Now, once they're all clipped, it stays together. And I've tried wobbling it apart and it doesn't work. But once you start popping the clips off, then the others will give way. So it's good, it stays together. I've carried it around the house with one finger in the top, so it definitely works. The lights could use a bit of tape, to be honest, because when you give them a tug like this, when you're gathering your cabling together to bring it out through the hole, if you give the light a tug, it can fall out of the holes. So you wouldn't want that to happen, or the bulbs will break. There aren't any bulbs, they're LEDs. That was a trick. That was something that Arlen told me to try on you, see if you'd fall for it. So we know how you diffuse it. You take this and you put it on there. But what if you wanted to make the color warmer? What if you wanted a higher color temperature? Well, what you could do is you could twiddle the dial and make it go to the other color, but you can't do that because it's not that kind of thing. It doesn't have a dual color. It doesn't have the warm LEDs and the cool LEDs. Instead, it's got a rather prehistoric method of changing the color called brown strips of plastic. There are 2 of them. And you're never going to guess, but if you want the light to be a little bit warmer, you put one of these in your diffuser, like this. And here's the nifty part. If you want it to be even warmer than that, you put another one of these in. Now, I'm putting these in like I'm an old pro at this. because I've already had the sweary part where I had to figure out you have to press it flat when you're doing it, otherwise it won't go in without popping out the other end. Like that. See what I mean? I'm not going to get angry though. There we are. Like that. That's all you have to do to make it into a warm light. So you stick it back in through the holes like that. Yeah. You just chat amongst yourselves, because this was the point at which I electrocuted myself last time. I'm not going to give you that show. All right, so hang on. 3 down, 1 to go. So there it is. There's the light is now warmer. Now, okay, it might be a bit warmer. It seems to me a slightly low-tech solution for warming the light. But it doesn't take anything away from the fact that this is a nice, solid cage. What would you use this for? Well, I probably wouldn't use it for a lot in my work, but let's say, for example, I wanted to sell one of Arlen's kidneys, something I've tried to do before, nobody wanted it. I might want a picture of the kidney to show people what they were getting, and a kidney would fit in here quite well. So that's what you'd use it for, photographing things for eBay, for example, or yeah, that would be a good thing to do with it. And it has these backdrops. Did I mention them? That they're curved. I don't know if that's deliberate or accidental, but they are curved so that when you put them in, they have that infinity appearance. Now, it's not just a white one. They have another color, black in this case, which looks good, except for the fact that the walls are white. I would have thought that possibly all black would have been a little bit better, but you can easily hang some crepe or something in there. The other colors are double-sided, so you've got an orangey tone, bluey tone, blue, real blue, and green. Or this could be grey, I don't know. I'm colorblind. Not good for a photographer. So these certainly make the inside of this a little bit more interesting, but there's a bit of a problem with getting them to stay, I found. The problem is not getting them to stay at the bottom. I hope you can see this from up there. They just fell over. So it will stay in at the bottom just by pushing these little tabs up here. Again, it's a very low-tech solution. You would think that there would be some kind of a mechanical clamp for holding this. The thing is, up at the, you see, it doesn't really stay in them very well. And up at the top, there's 2 more just like it. But they don't hold very well either. So they could do a better job of this. But if you were to get one of these, you'd buy a roll of sticky tape too, double-sided tape probably, to stick it up against the wall in the back. So it's nice and big, it's nice and sturdy, it's not going to fall apart, it does fold flat. I am going to show you that now because we're through examining it. This thing gets warm, but not anything too alarming. Taking it down is easier than putting it up, but putting it up's not difficult. I mean, as these things go, it's just got snaps on it. And it has a lovely carrying case with a handle. So if you like to go to other people's houses to shoot your eBay pictures, this is the thing you'd want to take with you. So once you get... Stop gloating that you think I'm going to have an accident here. I've got it under control. Look at that. Completely flat. and it goes right in the handbag. The second day of Christmas, that's what you need to get. If you aren't going to get somebody the Kaya Luden screwdriver bit set that Olamanu Gardens got me, then fair enough. You could get these shirts, also donated by my sponsor, Olamanu Gardens. So on the second day of Christmas, it's the Orthland 16-inch light box for your eBay photography. Probably not for your macro photography, but who knows. So the book I'm going to recommend on day 2 is for anybody on your list who is a DIYer or inventor and a photographer. I'm making stuff all the time, and I could not make it without this book. Practical Electronics for Inventors. Now, it's over my head about 80% of the time. It's over Arlen's head 110% of the time. But when I need to look something up, it's in here. This book is complete and thorough. I love every page of it. It's great reading. And if you've ever wondered about the practical side of electricity, this is a must-have. I love this book. So, Practical Electronics for Inventors goes right on the shelf next to your Audubon from the first day of Christmas, and I will see you on the third day of Christmas. Happy Yule.